Hi, everyone. Great to see everyone. Beautiful smiling voices, faces and voices. We're going to call this meeting to order at 6:30. This is the olauloa Neighborhood Board. So, thank you everyone for excusing my absence last month. I watched the meeting. Willie did a really good job. I'm not quite sure why she wasn't elected chair, but we have two members who have family emergencies, Kella and Carol, so they won't be joining us tonight. They send their regrets. Just a reminder, we do have time limits on presentations, 3 minutes for government reports, 5 minutes for presentations, and 2 minutes for public input, and we're going to try to be pretty strict about that. I mean, what we really want to do is to create a meeting that moves along and that attracts people and people feel really satisfied in being here. So we can all contribute to that. If I interrupt you or if I raise my hand, it's nothing personal. We're just trying to move things along. So thank you. Let's see. Shall we start? Start with our monthly reports. Let's start with the Honolulu Fire Department. Glad you guys are here. Thank you.
Captain Mao from the Hulu Fire Station. So statistics for August fires, there was 2 structure fires, 2 wildland or brush fires, no nuisance fires, no cooking fires, 2 activated alarms, but no fires. Emergencies, there were 40 medical emergencies. 1 motor vehicle collision with a pedestrian, motor vehicle crash or collisions, there are 4, 2 mountain rescues, 1 ocean rescues, and no hazardous materials incidents. Nuisance fires include rubbish fires outside of a structure or vehicle. Fire safety tips and announcement. The tip is charge into fire safety lithium-ion batteries in your home. This year, the National Fire Protection Association's Fire Prevention Week campaign works to educate everyone about using these batteries safely. Lithium-ion batteries store a lot of energy in a small place. These batteries can overheat, start a fire, or explode if overcharged or damaged. By learning how to buy, charge, and recycle these batteries safely, you can help prevent a fire in your home. When buy only listed products. When buying a product that uses lithium-ion battery, look for safety certification marks such as UL, ETL, or CSA. This meets important safety standards. Charge devices safely. Always use the cords that came with the product to charge. Follow the instructions from the manufacturer. Buy new chargers from the manufacturer or one that a manufacturer has approved. Charge your device on a hard surface. Don't overcharge your device. Unplug it or remove the battery when it's fully charged. Recycle batteries responsibly. Don't throw lithium-ion batteries in the trash or regular recycling bins because they could start a fire. Recycle your device or battery at a safe battery recycling location. Visit calltorecycle.org to find a recycling spot near you. The HFD is hosting a Fire Prevention Family Day event on October 4th, 2025 at the Honolulu Zoo from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can bring your family to participate in activities and meet our fire and life safety partners.
Do we have any questions from the board? Thank you for that. Question from Ben.
Actually, not a question, but number one, I wanted to thank you for having it printed out. That always works wonders, right? Number two, everything you talked about on about the safety of these batteries is what we all need to hear, and it's probably going to be the most important message for all of us because we all use batteries in our homes. So I want to thank you for reminding about that. But this thing works, and I'm hoping that Anson would have that in. Okay, mahalo. Thank you, sir.
Any other comments or questions from the board? How about from community members present? Evelyn, or
Yes, the fire department had mentioned two fires.
could you provide your name, please?
My name's Keith Maris, and I'm from the Kahuku Senior Housing. I live in the Kahuku Senior Housing. And you had mentioned that there was two brush fires. Were those the fires in Kahuku and behind the senior housing? And was there an after action report given on both those fires for the Labor Day weekend? And also, since it was, I'm assuming since it was the two homeless camps, one had burnt the other one out, and then the other day, the other one had burnt the other one out. I was assuming that there would be an arson investigation with that. I'm going to follow up. Was there an arson investigation, and is it or is it pending?
So we look forward to hearing about that next meeting. Any other questions from or comments from folks online or folks who are present here? All right. Well, thank you very much for that. Let's move on to the Honolulu Police Department.
Good evening, board members and committee members. My name is Lieutenant Drew Kage. I come out of the Kuku Station. In the back there is Sergeant Keahi Omai, who is also in charge of the patrol officers in the Kuku Station. Online, we have Sergeant Doug Lee, who will be presenting the stats for the Kuku area tonight.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Douglas Lee, Sergeant Douglas Lee. So for the month of August, we had one motor vehicle theft compared to one the previous month. We had 2 burglary cases compared to 2 the previous month. We had 10 theft cases, which includes pickpocketing, purse snatching, shoplifting, theft of vehicle accessories, theft of bicycle, theft from buildings, theft of coin machines, and any other thefts, compared to 7 the prior month. And we had 1 UEMV or unauthorized entry into a motor vehicle compared to 0 the month prior. And we had 0 robbery cases in August compared to 2 in July.
Thank you, Sergeant Lee. Just to touch a little bit on what we've been doing at the Kuku Station. With the uptick in traffic fatalities across the island, we've been being more visible on the road as far as traffic enforcement goes, both educating and issuing citations to personnel who may have violated the law to try and curb that death rate, that traffic fatality rate, bring that down. We seem to be working pretty well, but we asked to work with the community and that we both work together in bringing these safe driving and bringing these being safe for everyone in the community over here. And then to address your fire call, those were, according to my sergeant, they cleaned out that area and those were cooking fires that were extinguished. So, yeah, well, they spread, so, but we can look more into it. If there is an arson case, definitely we look into it. Okay.
That's it. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Do we have any questions from our board members or comments?
Hi, aloha. I just have one, Ben Schaefer. One is, I noticed that a lot of the young people are not using their seatbelts. For some reason, I mean, just a whole bunch of accidents and a lot of young people. Somehow they need to crack down on informing them of the importance of it, whether it be school, you go to the schools or whatever, so that they can, because they're not getting it because we're all so used to putting it on. They should be, but apparently they're not getting the message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Any other comments from board members? Any questions from people in the community?
My name is Evelyn Lane, and it seemed that there was video of people running away from the fire that were homeless. And so we were hoping that this will be an arson investigation and that maybe some of the problems that we're having out there could be resolved. The other question is, we have a severely mentally ill person who's arrived on the golf course recently, and he is very loud, cursing, screaming, and threatening, and also like he's using a machete and hitting everything as he walks down the road. He's really dangerous, and we keep calling, but by the time law enforcement gets there, he's on the golf course or in the woods, and that's the end of the investigation.
Thank you.
Okay, I can let the patrol guys be more aware of that and look into that situation. Thank you.
Can you use the microphone, please?
I talked to the officers today that went there. There's three cars that went out there, and they said that they know who he is. They know his name.
Okay, I'll touch bases with them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other questions comments from the audience? Elgin.
My name is Elgin Onaga, and I'm kind of curious as to if you guys have any kind of plans to teach the kids, put on a helmet, stop riding wheelies all over the place. Maybe in the schools you can have a class about it. I don't know. Do you guys have any plans to make the kids listen? Because they're dying all over the place.
Thank you for that. That's something I can bring up with the community policing unit that we have here, that maybe they can talk to the kids. But again, we're going to ask that we all work together with the community, because those e-bikes, motorcycles, those just don't belong on the road. It's dangerous for the children who operate it, but it's also dangerous for the drivers who are operating on the road. So it creates really a havoc in the community. But we got, we do our best to get those. Trust me, we don't want anyone to get hurt. One thing is Hawaii doesn't have a helmet law. So that's something that we can look into, But again, they're operating illegal vehicles on the roadway. So we just got to work together to curb that behavior and change that mindset. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much.
I can-
We have
I can add to that.
okay, let's start with Margaret right here, and then we have someone online.
Margaret County Weiss. I think if the individuals on their bicycles who are popping wheelies down the road with no helmets are minors, their parents should be held accountable for what's going on, because they're breaking the law and they're endangering lives of themselves and other drivers. But yeah, if there's a way you guys could get to
I
their
agree.
parents.
And I think
I can add to that.
as you commented, I think it's a.
Sergeant Lee has a comment.
Oh, Sergeant, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so regarding the e-bikes and the kids that are on them, a lot of times when we try to stop them, they take off. And as you all know, they're wearing helmets and masks. And it becomes an issue of their safety versus us catching them and giving them a citation. So what we've done is we've changed our strategy a little bit, and we're doing a little bit more undercover or plainclothes work. And we'll follow them on the bikes, and then when they stop and we can safely approach them, we've done that. And when we find juvenile, we immediately contact their parents, and we let them know what their child has been doing, and the way they've been behaving on their bikes. And first of all, a lot of them are not supposed to be on those bikes because they're underage. And then if they don't have the necessary equipment like helmets for under 18 years old, we issue citations, and we have made criminal cases against the parents who have been warned more than once.
Okay. And as you indicated, this is not just the police department. This is also our political representatives and our schools, and it's really an all of community effort. But I think let's go to Catherine, who is online, and then we'll go back to Evelyn.
Just a fast add into this situation. I have been horrified to witness parents fathers carrying their infants, and I'm going to say infants as in just has a diaper on their bikes on the back on Homestead Road. And I've seen this more than once. I know other people have witnessed it. And so I would hope that their officer is an additional charge if you ever bust a parent doing that, because that's child endangerment, in my opinion. Thank you.
Catherine, and then thanks, Catherine, and then Evelyn.
I just have one question. What is the youngest age that somebody can ride either a electric or motorized moped? I see these really teeny-tiny ones, and like the smallest children are on them. They're just toddlers. And I can't even imagine that's legal.
No, I believe I believe the age is 15 and a half, because you gotta have some kind of permit, yeah, for that.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other comments? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on to do we have a representative from the United States Army here online? Nope. No one from the United States Army. Let's go on our government reports. Kat, are you around? There you are. Can we
I'm
hear
here.
from you from our city council? I mean, our city and county.
Yes, hello everybody. Good evening. I have 5 updates from this month's highlights from the mayor's newsletter. First, the city honors Oahu's Purple Heart recipients during a ceremony at Honolulu. Second, Heart breaks ground on new guideways and rail stations across the 3rd segment of the rail project from Kalihi to Kaka'ako. Third, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's Region 9 administrator visited Honolulu to discuss housing and homelessness with Hawaii's mayors. Fourth, new members of the Honolulu Youth Commission are sworn in during a ceremony at Honolulu. And fifth, Oahu's junior lifeguards return for the state championship event on Maui with a historic victory. The September 2025 edition of the mayor's newsletter can be found online, and I will drop the link into the chat. The second big update is with regards to the charter. So once every decade, the Charter Commission conducts its review of the city charter, which is basically Honolulu's constitution. So community members are invited to submit proposals by November 7th. The commission will also be holding community meetings in October. Dates, times, locations, they're all available on the Charter Commission website. Everyone is encouraged to participate in this important process, and I'll drop a link in the chat to the commission's website for more information. Okay, moving on to the departmental reports. Resident Casey Connors wanted clarification on if the statement from DBED regarding illegal vacation rentals was accurate. DPP responds. In response to Resident Connors' inquiry, the current number of illegal short-term rental units, STR units, operating for less than 30 days is approximately 1,900. This data is provided by a software company contracted by DPP to monitor STR activity on the island of Oahu. This figure also closely aligns with data from AirDNA, another reputable software company that independently tracks STR activities. However, it is possible that there are more STR properties that we don't know about. The city is working on expanding investigations to determine if there are more STR properties not identified. The next question was whether there are any updates or improvements on the collecting of STR fines. According to DPP from Hawaii News Now, a very small amount of the outstanding fines were collected. Casey Connors referenced an article, and I can drop that in the chat, but DPP responds, DPP remains committed to improving its collections process and ensuring that the violators are held accountable. DPP continues to place liens on these properties as a means of protecting the city's interests and seeing that the civil fines are ultimately addressed and paid. DPP has started to notify mortgage lenders of these illegal short-term rental violations, which could potentially lead to severe legal and financial consequences for the borrowers. The next question was with regards a request to remove a decommissioned building on Kahuku City Golf Course because it could be a safety issue. Kahuku Golf Course has already begun the process to decommission and demolish the abandoned clubhouse building. DES has already obtained the necessary permits and requirements needed to remove the building and currently is working on securing the necessary funds to contract the demo work. The next one, Member Paddock requested that a new sign informing residents that a homeless community center is a tsunami evacuation site. DEM responds to this, and it's a separate tsunami evacuation site approval request Also from Auntie Dottie, we're asking that Honolulu Civic Center be included on the city's list of approved tsunami evacuation sites. Okay, DEM reports the Honolulu Civic Center is located in the red standard tsunami evacuation zone and is therefore not appropriated to be designated as a tsunami assembly area. DEM has been working with the Honolulu community on projects at the 54256 Honolulu Homestead Road location. This location is in the yellow tsunami evacuation zone for only extreme tsunami evacuations and could serve as a tsunami assembly area. However, at this time, there are no facilities at this location, so DEM did not list this site during a recent event. The Asia Pacific International School is also located in the green zone and appropriate for designation as a tsunami assembly site. DEM does not have records of an MOU with the Asia Pacific International School, but would like to establish contact with them. DEM's mass care planner will contact Member Paddock to follow up on this topic. DEM shared a link on how you can search for tsunami evacuation zones based on addresses, and so I'll drop that link into the chat. Those were the departmental questions that I got from last month. Happy to take any additional questions anyone may have.
Thank you, Kat. Starting with Dottie.
Hi, Kat. This is Dottie Kelly Paddock.
Hello.
I did not ask for Hau'ula Civic Center to be designated as a tsunami evacuation site. I only brought up the fact that the Asia Pacific International School is the site that we use in Hau'ula.
Okay.
And if DEM can't find their paperwork, just ask them to please call their contractor, Liz Fisher, who had that MOU signed with Asia Pacific.
Oh, great. Fisher, F-I-S-H-E-R,
Fischer.
Liz Fisher has the copy of the signed MOU with the Asia Pacific International School.
She was the person who had the job to get those MOUs signed throughout the district.
Oh,
And I don't
great.
know, she was in other districts as well, but that was her job a couple of years ago to get MOUs signed for tsunami sites. And I'll be happy to call Randy Collins and give him her phone number if they can't find it.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members? Okay, any community members have a comment? Evelyn.
Hi, Kat. It's Evelyn Lane from
Hello.
Pupupu. Hi. I was meeting with the Talk Story meeting with City Councilman Wire, and I had sent some letters off to DPP back in September. In August, trying to get them to come out and do some inspections. And
Inspections
letter
of a
got-
a private facility, of a STR.
it's more than that. But
Oh, okay.
the
sorry.
thing is that the letter was forwarded to DDP by Director Crucky. And then it was, I got one response back from DDP, but they never followed up with all the other things they were doing. And I was wondering if I could speak to you in your office about following up with me, because I think you might have better luck with them than the city council member's office.
Got it. Yeah, I'll drop my email in the chat. You can email me and then I'll see if I can follow it up.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Of
Evelyn.
course.
Any other comments from community members here or online? Okay, great. Thank you, Kat. Moving on to Councilman Matt Wire's office. That's Chelsea. You around?
Hey everyone. Oh, hi. Let me go ahead.
Chelsea.
Camera. Hi. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much. Just wanted to highlight some things from our newsletter. So thank you, Auntie Dottie, first and foremost, for hosting our office and Councilmember Wire right here at the Hau'ula Community Center. This happened last week, Friday. I want to say almost like 90% of our team, except for one, came out, and it was a great time. We took down a lot of questions and some of our team is out at HSAC right now. It's a conference that's being held on Hawaii Island. So we're still kind of organizing all of the intake that we had, but just wanted to appreciate the folks who did show up and gave us the time and allowing us the opportunity to follow up on some of those concerns. Just highlighting a couple of things here, legislative updates. So at our last September full council meeting, there were two resos that I did want to highlight. Resolution 25-234. So I think last time I had reported on it, but this one is the strengthening emergency response in rural communities, specifically in installing monitoring devices, including traffic cameras and coastal inundation zones. So I think last month I had shared that it's on the agenda, or if we're planning to have it on the agenda for full council, and I'm here to report that it did pass. So exciting news there. And then the second one was Resolution 25-185, developing a residential relocation assistance program. I had brought this up at the last neighborhood board meeting, and this also passed at September's full council meeting. So appreciate the time, and I appreciate for those who submitted testimony on either one of those resolutions. One of the other things that I did want to highlight, not legislation, but it's a really important deadline that's coming up for homeowners. This one is the real property tax exemptions, dedications, and credit. So September 30th is kind of a big one for those who are homeowners. And so if you filed for the exemption in the past, then you should still be covered. And it's especially important to ensure that the current title holders are signed up for the exemption. And then we also wanted to highlight the real property tax credit, which caps property tax at 3% of the homeowner's income. And this is for households that are making $80,000 a year or below for the qualification of this specific program. Just also highlighting for the real property tax credit, you do have to apply for that every year. So just highlighting those. Any questions though, it's not our office who's handling it, it's the Department of Budget and Fiscal Services. So if you have questions, you can contact, phone number is coming up, 808-768-3205. Again, that's 808-768-3205, or you can email them at bfstaxrelief@honolulu.gov. That is all for my report. Happy to take any questions back, and I appreciate Pat for taking care of a lot of the departmental follow-up. I believe we had the similar questions, so thank you so much. That concludes our report.
Thank you, Chelsea. Do we have any questions? Dottie?
Not really a question, but I wanted to thank you, Chelsea, for bringing that whole team out and really working hard to respond to all the questions that people asked. It was a great meeting. We had great turnout. And we were really happy to be the first chat with Matt, I guess, around the district. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any
Thank
other
you, and it
responses?
won't be our last.
Okay, awesome. Any other responses from the board? And do we have any responses from the community? Okay, Chelsea, thank you very much.
Have a
Appreciate
great
that.
night.
Do we have a representative of Congressman Jill Takuda online? Then moving on, our governor's representative, Erica, who's here in person. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I will be dropping a bunch of things in the chat and my written report into the Google Drive that I have set up for several documents that I want to include. So I'll do that after I get back to my seat. But I did want to first recognize September as Suicide Prevention Month. I'll drop a link to a news release with state suicide prevention resources. One that I wanted to highlight is 988. Does everybody know about 988? So anyone can call or text 988 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for mental health support. For more information, you can also visit hicares.hawaii.gov. I have 2 questions from the board from last month, and we'll go through those responses. Let's do the one that was directed to DBED first. It was concerning the Hawaii Tourism Authority Advisory Board and tourism in general, and I believe it was submitted by Casey. How will the community and our concerns be represented on the board moving forward? So DBED's response, and that is, again, this news release that I'll put into the chat, but they do have a recent news release about some community input meetings that I wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of. For Central Oahu on September 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. And then there will be one in town on the 25th from 6 to 8 p.m. I have the registration links as well. They also wanted me to let everyone know that they do have a stay connected kind of button on their website for news media alerts and other information you can sign up for on this page. So there's just a lot of links. They also wanted me to include a link to their upcoming meetings where you can also provide community input. What is being done to diversify the economies of rural areas of the state? Their response was that the state is focused on creating more opportunities in rural communities by building up a mix of industries and not just relying on one industry like tourism. Some of the areas we're supporting include agriculture and aquaculture, value-added product development, and creative industries. They are working on making sure that rural areas have more facilities and infrastructure to help local farmers, fishers, and entrepreneurs expand their businesses, bring new products to market, and create higher paying jobs. There was also a request that more economic studies be completed, and DBED had a response to that. They do have a report on occupation and employment wage data coming out at the end of the month, and I have a link to that as well. And then the other question was directed to DOT. I don't know if Mel is here from DOT. I think she said she was going to try to come. If not, I can go through that response too. Doesn't look like she's here, maybe. Okay. So DOT, I think this question came from Ben, and I believe that they already gave Ben the full timeline, but I will drop that into the Google Drive as well. They wanted to also tell me to tell you all that they recently got a traffic advisory from HECO. So I'm not sure if you got that this week, but there will be traffic impacts starting on Monday. So this coming Monday, September the 15th, through Friday, October 10th, as contractors for HECO trim overgrown vegetation encroaching on power lines. The work will occur daily except weekends from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., temporarily impacting sections of the highway. Even though that's not DOT, they wanted us to let you know about that. And then there is a long list of current projects. So this list can be printed out from DOT's website at any time. So I do have the updated one that I'll put into the drive again. The areas projects are listed on pages 18 through 19. There are 5 active projects along Kamehameha Highway, Route 83. There are also a bunch of links that they wanted me to, again, drop that allow residents to sign up more proactively for news alerts from their website and for news releases so that you're more aware of traffic impacts, and then all of their social media links. But they do have, again, these 2 major construction projects in progress. You all know about the Kai Papa'au Bridge very well. And if you don't know about that website, I'll drop that one in the chat as well. But their update on it was that the bridge project, currently the contractor has completed removal of the temporary diversion road and has begun grading in preparation for riprap placement. The remaining permanent water line and electrical work are underway and are expected to be completed by late this month. Final paving is scheduled for early October, followed by signing and striping in late October. The remaining portion of the new bridge is anticipated to be fully open by the end of October. The other current project was Kaava revetment, and that's on track to finish by the end of October. There are also two design projects in the works but they're not until late December 2026 and then spring 2027.
It would be awesome to get that in the form of a handout or
Yeah,
something.
so I have it.
Maybe we could present that people could peruse that on their own. And generally, I like to be pretty good about time limits. I also think that when we give our government representatives lots and lots of homework and they're reporting 5 or 6 questions that we've given them, then I think we should just let them finish their report. So thank you for that, Eric. I know that's a lot of work. Is there more?
So I think that's it. So I can put the written report in that drive.
Okay.
I'll put the link. in the
Awesome.
chat.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That was a lot.
Yeah, and I'll take any questions that you have as well.
Any questions for Erica? Starting with the board. Ben.
I want to tell her that she's doing a great job. DOT is working on these issues. Mahalo.
Yeah, I just want to comment. We do give you guys a lot of homework and really appreciate you coming back and being responsive. So anybody else?
I just wanted to ask one question. When the Department of Travel and Tourism sets out their public announcements, they kind of look like travel bulletins, like or a visit to go to a cruise ship or something. Do you think they could be, my request is that they look more official so people realize that it's really a governmental meeting and not, a sip and say or something,
I can give them that
Yeah.
feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Any other comments here? Chris?
Hi, Christopher Sessin from Hauula. Had a question about the tree trimming for the wires. I've noticed a lot of times when they cut back to about an inch past the wire. Is there a standard that requires them to cut, say, 6 feet past the wires? Because it seems like they end up having to go out more and more because they don't really cut back from the wires. They cut right next to the wires. So could you look into that for us, please?
I can definitely ask and get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting question.
Any other questions from online or in person? Margaret.
Margaret Coe Weiss, hi. Back to the tree trimming. Have they considered at all doing the tree trimming during non-business hours when people aren't on the highway, like in the nighttime?
I can ask.
That would be wonderful because getting to work or getting my kids to school, it's really tough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Response from the community? Okay, thank you. Erica, thank you so much. And we're going to move on to our state senator, Makana. Are you online?
Hello, Mike Ako. Some of the information I was going to share was just brought up, so awesome. I'm just going to go over questions for Kahana Bay. I believe was to do with a specific root ball that could be hazardous to the community. It hasn't been addressed yet, but is on the calendar, and the LNR is aware of it. Some good news for Kahana Bay as well. Recently got allocated a 500,000 allocation for wash-on stations at the boat ramp. And then to answer some previous questions from last month, there is a bunch of few meetings this month to do with evacuation preparedness, government agencies to connect and community to connect, and try to see what is best procedures moving forward to ensure safety for the community. And then also wanted to let you folks know that the Malay Kahana RFP, RFQ proposals are up for bid on the DLNR website. And our Genki Ball project in Kahalu'u has been operating for about 1 month now, and we got some positive outcomes, with the students and community. So looking forward to continuing that project, the pilot project. Senator Ava, is will be logging on. Right now, he's wanted to ask a community request from you folks, and if you can just maybe give him about 30 seconds to a minute to log on. But open for any questions.
Any questions for Makana from the board? Any questions from the community?
I have a question about what was it you said about Malai Kahana.
Yes, excuse me. So on the site, it is Malaikahana State Recreation Area State Parks is issuing a request for qualifications, request for proposals for parties interested in developing campgrounds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Are we waiting for Senator? Is he online? Oh, Ella? Oh, Ella, go ahead. I thought she did already. Okay, all right. So we don't have anyone online. Okay. Well, you know what we can do? Let's proceed. Maybe is Brenton on his way, Makana?
He was gonna.
Here.
Oh,
Here.
he's here. Thank you.
So maybe we can go on to Sean Quinlan's office. Oh, no, he's online. Oh, okay, okay. Senator,
Hey,
thanks for joining
Mahalo.
us.
Yeah, sorry I was late. Makana, you already gave the report. Okay, I'm assuming so. Just wanted to get on here. It's been really busy, 3.5, 4 days, and it's still nonstop. And I just want to ask for the kokua of the community, if you guys have, and this is a small ask, but it's for one of our former constituents. This Saturday, we're going to be honoring the life of Fiji over at the Waikiki Shell, and one of the things that our office has to do is provide the flowers. We need about 10,000 flowers. We think we got it. There's enough state sites that we got permission. Our office is personally going to go pick, but we're having 2 drop sites open tomorrow between about 8 and 12 at the Capitol or out at the Laie Marriott. If you guys have a plumeria and you want to bring that plumeria, drop it off, you can do that either site. We're very thankful. It'll be less that we have to pick. Secondly, just got back from a trip. We were trying to help get a challenge of Kamehameha School's admissions policy dropped, so we flew out to the East Coast. We're successful in a lot of meetings. And then lastly, I'm not sure if Makana updated on the Genki project. If he didn't, I can answer questions about that, but it's going into the next phase, which is putting that microbes, not the ball itself, but the microbes that are in it, straight into toilets, into cesspools in the same area. Mahalo.
Comments or questions from the board? Go ahead, Ben.
Mahalo for the update on the Genki. I think that's a great idea. Mahalo. Ben Chief.
Any other comments? from the
Thanks,
board?
Ben.
Hi, Evelyn Lane from Kahuku. This morning I was listening to Hawaii Public Radio, and there was a negative report about gungi balls, and I was really surprised if you heard anything about it, but it was kind of disappointing to hear that science is not saying that they're seeing any results from gangi balls, but I know the science has been around for a long time, so I hope that you guys can help Hawaii Public Radio correct their report.
Yeah, so, and thanks for bringing that up. That was one thing. There's been so many things ongoing. That was one call that I had to make is to Civil Beat, because usually they're on it, but in this specific report, key factor that they left out is that, and this is directly from HPU, because I wanted them to come out. I still want them to come out and test our project and what we're doing. But HPU's test, they did 2 deployments over a year. And in those 2 deployments was 100 Genki balls each. So when the report said there was not enough Genki balls used, it wasn't even close to any it wasn't the microbes that you need to introduce any kind of difference. I mean, it was like, and I don't want to knock their project, but that's what I want, why I want our project, because we're throwing in thousands of these things. And at the Genki Alawai over the 5-year period, they've put in more than 250,000. And so that's why you see the difference. Plus it's on a long, that's over 5 years, right? So there's a lot of time for that growth to happen. So yeah, to me, it was a little bit disappointing that Civil B, they've been really good with covering politics, but in that one, I just felt like that information was crucial for the public to make their own judgment. So yes, I feel your disappointment, and that is a call that I'm going to make directly to that reporter, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Thank you. We have another comment from Dottie.
Hi, thank you, Brendan. I had a great conversation this week, about 30 minutes on the phone with Corey Nago, who is very involved with the Geeky Ball project. And we had talked about having it here in Hauula, but it's the funding that is the problem for us. And he mentioned that Castle Foundation had been funding the Geeky Ball project there in Kahaluu. But one thing that's, we sort of talked about was the fact that this is not typically for long-term outcomes. It's really a way of raising awareness of the community about the problem and getting kids involved in going out and throwing those Genki balls in and raising their awareness. They're our future, the kids, and I can see benefits to it, but there are really no, according to him, with the Genki Ball project himself, there are no real long-term benefits. We are going to have to go to removing cesspools and putting in either septics or ATUs, and but it's a very inventive way of getting people's attention about it and learning about it. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with what he's saying, but I think he's giving themselves a little less credit, because in the Alawai, I mean, you can see it with there's sludge, and there's, as you know, you guys probably have seen in their presentation, there is wildlife returning. So when he's talking long term, I don't know how it changes. I'm not a scientist. He would be the expert. So, I defer to him and what he's saying. But what we've seen for that waterway, if we can do that in Kahalu's waterway, that'll be much better for the kids down there. And your point of the kids being educated, yeah, if we're the first rung on the ladder and the next generation takes that next step towards something, then that's a win too. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, one more.
So I would just have a comment on that. So I'm involved with Ahui Manu Elementary. We're working with Senator's office and Corey. And I think from my perspective and what we've learned and what we're educating our kids on, as Senator Awa said, you can see the Alawai project, and it's been able to show success because, as he said, the marine life has come back, and will continue to thrive. I think the challenges that maybe Corey's speaking about as well is the long-term impacts. We can only make so many Genki balls and throw them into the water. But if we don't take care of the actual problem, which is the pollution, then we're kind of at a loss, So it kind of has to go, in my opinion, kind of in tandem. You have to have the solution to take care of the problem now, but get to the heart of the problem, which is what's causing the pollution. And so I think long-term, one of the issues in the Kahalu area is the cesspools. And that's what's causing the pollution. And even though there's a city mandate by a certain year that all of them have to be converted, locals can't afford the process of converting it, even if they want to comply with the law. So think there's some challenges that we need to look at and figure out how to resolve if we're going to try to tackle the problem. And it has to be, I think, a multi-tiered approach. The Genki balls is not going to solve the whole problem, but it's definitely going to help because we've seen it at the olauloa, and we're excited to see what it's going to do for the Kahalu area.
Thank you. Any other comments? Ben?
I'll
I-
make,
I
oh,
think, I think it's, I think we have to do something, and they're doing something now. We're not waiting, we're not, there's no, we want something done and they're doing it, and we need to do it now. We can work on the long-term problem as we go along, but we need to fix it now if we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Dali?
our long-term problem is not going to go away with Genki balls. I would love for it to, but I mean, we have a problem and it's rural communities that have this problem. It's okay in town. I mean, they have wastewater systems that we don't. So we're going to have to, one way or the other, because the communities can't pay for this expense. Our residents don't have the money. And so the sooner we can drive it home to the city and the state that we need help with this. It's part of our infrastructure that other communities have, and that's been funded. So it's about time for them to step up and fund rural areas. Thank you.
Dottie, I hear you on that one. And I can only tell you what we've been briefed in the Capitol in regards to how do we address this issue. And when we're briefed, I forget what the amount of money that we could give people to try to subsidize and to convert. But even if I think it was even if we gave everybody $20,000, still 80% or something like that. You know the statistic. And so I think that's where the hard part is. It comes down to the money. And I mean we waste a lot of money in other areas. You guys just saw the AC $120,000 to cool a single classroom. So can we do it? Maybe, but then you're dealing with the dysfunction of the legislature, and that's something totally different. This project, while it's not the long-term solution, if we do nothing, and I can't predict the future. Again, I can only tell you what I see happening reality. We see down in Punalu'u, because somebody's trying to, and everybody can have their own takes on this, but somebody's trying to protect their property from erosion, puts up bags, gets fined and can't pay the fine, so has to give up the house. Whether we agree with the bags or not, I don't. But the fact that the government will fine you and then take your property, that could very well happen when the mandate goes into effect and people can't afford to convert. So that's why we're trying anything we can. This is the first step. My third year, because if we can overall somehow have an alternative that can clean the environment, that's the end goal. But until the legislature, the governor finds out how to fund this and how to get everybody up to speed on infrastructure, we're stuck. This is one problem that doesn't have a solution currently.
Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Brent, Christopher Sessi in Hauula. I'm not a big fan of price controls, but one of the things I've noticed is as soon as the city and county offered or the state of here, which was offered a subsidy, then immediately prices jumped by that amount by contractors to replace the cesspools. So I'm wondering if the state could somehow mandate a price that's reasonable for most circumstances so that we're just not throwing money at contractors instead of helping people change their cesspools over. Thanks.
That's a really good point. Thank you for bringing up that on the record. I have a friend who's a contractor, saw this happening. Makana's on, so Makana, if you can note that, we can follow up. I'm on the Commerce and Consumer Protection Committee, so this upcoming one, we can work it with Jarrett. Senator Keoho Kalole. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments?
One parting comment on this is let's collect data. Let's talk about something real. we've spent the last 6, 8 months here in Hauula collecting data on our nearshore waters. The University of Hawaii and Castle Foundation funded that, and tons of volunteers have come out here for over 6 months helping with that process. Let's look at the data, okay? Let's take a place, the worst place in Hauula, and let's throw 1,000 ginky balls in there. Let's see what happens. I believe in data. Thank you.
Thanks, Dottie.
Dottie,
We have
Dottie, I
someone
don't know what-
online.
wait.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Real quick,
Please
real quick.
respond.
Yeah, thank you. Real quick. We want to see the numbers too, Dottie, and that's why the Surfrider Foundation, they've been taking the data there. So we have long-standing years of data taken, with storms included, and Martha is continuing to take that data. So it's not, an elaborate tray of research, but it is measuring the fecal bacteria, Enterococcus.
Thank you. Mark, did you want to comment?
Yes, if you don't mind. I have a couple presentations later on, but I'm the International Erosion Control Association State of Hawaii representative, and we understand, I think Dottie's exactly right. The kinky balls are a mitigation effort, but it's not the solution for what's causing it. And in this state, they don't believe in mitigate rather than retreat. I used to be diagram coordinator for all the Army training lands, Kuku training area, Kawaloa, all of them in your district, plus other ways in Big Island. You can stop pollution by mitigating it, and we're more than willing to volunteer what can be done. It's done everywhere else in the country. Hawaii just worries about putting in temporary solutions such as kinky balls and not worrying about the focus on what causes it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we can go on. Are we go on to the next agenda item if you don't mind? Good discussion. The Genki balls, if it is also just a great catalyst for this deeper discussion. So, can we see, is Sean online or some of his representatives? Sean Quinlan. Okay, let's go on to our presentations. I'm going to be a little more strict with these, please, 5 minutes apiece. We're going to start with Chris with Lahui o Olauloa Canoe Club requesting a letter of support. I have sent that letter of support out to all of you about 5-6 days ago. We have about 3 copies around here. So go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, Michael, and good to see you all again. We're requesting a letter of support for a couple of reasons. The first is because our elected representatives requested one. So we're happy to have you furnish that. We'd be grateful for that. We've also reached out to most of the neighborhood boards as well, or the community associations. So we have letters coming in from Hauula, Punaluu, Kahuku, and I think we've talked to Ka'ava. We haven't talked to Ka'ava yet, or we've talked to Kahana, but we haven't received a letter yet. So we'd be grateful, and I'll wait afterwards to chat with you about that opportunity as well. What I'd like to stress is the impact that we've had on the community. And this year, in fiscal year 25, we've had nearly 30,000 hours of paddling and instruction with the community. And for a community of 20,000 people, I think that's a pretty good number there. So what we're asking for is to build a halava'a, a teaching shelter, and a shelter for our canoes there. The community was very supportive last year, and we were able to get 4 new canoes and 6 refurbished canoes. So I think from a fleet of canoes that was kind of not necessarily seaworthy, we're now able to accommodate a whole lot of people. We had nearly 400 people participate this year, 150 keiki or more, and then dozens and dozens of kapuna as well. So it's a terrific program. We need to protect our community assets and our community members as well by providing this shelter. A few times we've had some lightning out on the bay and had to come in. There's just nowhere to go. So we want to be able to protect our community and our community assets. So I thank you for your consideration. Any questions?
Chris, I think there's a, go ahead. Any response from the board?
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to let that Kahana supports it. I haven't talked to Ka'ava yet, but Kahana supports it, and it's probably the best place on our Ko'olau district to hold a canoe club because it's all beach and it's shallow water, nobody drowns, and it's a good, there's parking, it's ideal. Not big enough for the big events, but it's ideal for what we have today. And being a member of the Ko'olauloa Canoe Club a while ago, back in the 70s, I appreciate them continuing on that legacy of the canoeing in Kahana. Mahalo. And I support that, your resolution.
Dottie?
I'd just like to mention that Hui o Ha'ula and the Ha'ula Community Association have also completed letters that I'm going to give to you tonight. And we strongly support this. Thank you.
Sunny?
Kahuku Community Association supports as well. And I don't know if I have to recuse myself because I'm a paddler and a third-year paddler. And it's been amazing to see the number of people who've come, the growth. And it's just great to see all these ba'as out and it's just been an amazing transformation for many of the paddlers themselves. I can attest to that. And we're full on long distance season right now. So we're prepping for the Molokai channel, for the Wahinas and the Kanes. And so it's just been a great community resource for the Keiki to Kupuna and everybody. So I don't know if I have to recuse myself from the decision, but I just wanted to share my comment as a paddler.
I'm detecting a lot of support for this, but any other comments from the board?
Sorry, just a question. I think you came to the meeting last time and shared with us, and I know there's a lot of support. Just have a question about the actual shelter that's being asked. Like,
Yes.
what does that look like? It's a canoe shelter, a teaching pavilion, so it's going to be big enough for how many canoes? And then I'm just trying to visualize what are we
Yes.
looking at?
I appreciate that. So we're restricted to about 2,000 square feet. Otherwise, we have to do a big environmental impact study, which is 5-10 years to get that done. So if you divide that by the number of square feet that a canoe takes up on 2 levels, that's about it. We have a proposal from G70 to do some initial design work. The concept is to make it look more like, let's say, the Hau'ula Pavilion, then have it look like a carport. So it's kind of a hip roof kind of thing that will look very, I think, attractive in the state park environment. One last comment, if I could, and that is I have 2 petitions going around, and we're going to be circulating these throughout the community. One is for community leaders like yourselves, and the other one's for the general public. We've already collected a couple hundred signatures from the general public, and I think you'll be seeing a lot more efforts throughout the fall for that. So tonight, if anybody wants to sign the one from the board, that's great. And any other help or advice you'd like to give, I'm happy to receive it. Thank you.
Okay, Margaret and
Hi, Margaret Kau'i Weiss. I'm from Punaluu, and speaking as a resident, I have a couple of comments. First, where exactly will the halau ba'a be built? Is it going to be right where you guys meet right
So
now?
that depends on a site survey that we do in our discussions with the state, because the state has some planners who are going to be involved in the process as well. Our intention is to find a place that's high enough that we don't need to add a lot of dirt or fill to make it safe. Excuse me, but it will be on the Makai side.
Oh, well, okay.
Somewhere between the bridge and the parking lot on the Ka'aba side. So it'll
Okay.
be somewhere over there.
Okay. And also speaking as a resident, when you have a bunch of people coming, I think this is a fabulous project to begin with, but more parking would be necessary when you're having a gathering, like if you're having a, what do you call it?
A race.
A race, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like a bunch of different teams coming there. And I think it might be a great idea to consult or request from the state, since it's a state park, if you could have some parking mauka of the highway. And because that just makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think
because,
I think that's a great idea. And so far we've been restricted from holding multi-club events for
Because-
precisely that reason. There's
Yeah.
not enough parking for that.
Yeah.
So we are looking into parking as well, but we're trying to get this done. And then once we get that, then we
because
can kind of.
this
make it
is
start.
fabulous and I would love to come join you guys. I'll be with the kupuna.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Any other comments from the board? Ben?
Just, do we need to make a motion to accept this
Yeah.
proposal?
Yeah.
I'd like to make that motion.
Oh, but okay, do we want, I think there's somebody online that has a question too. So, so once we finish the discussion, we'll do a motion. Thank you, Ben. Olivia, did you have a comment?
Hi, aloha, Olivia from Kahana. I just wanted to follow up and ask who you reached out for the KCA to have the letter of support. And then my next question will also be, did you folks go around to the community members that live in Kahana to request and check in with them for the awareness of the halal proposal?
So we've talked about 3 times with the Kahana Community Association with Lana, and I think there are about 5 or 6 people there as well. And so we actually had, I think, Elizabeth from Brenton's office come to one of the meetings that we had. And there were not a lot of community members who showed up to any of those meetings. So we've been relying on the community association leadership to communicate with the community itself.
Yeah, do you know when those meetings are? I just wasn't aware of those meetings being shared.
Happy to have another one if the community requests it. I'm available to come out and do that.
Maybe the two of you can partner on that.
Yeah, do you know, sorry, I was just wanting to know the specific person because you were just saying the association in general. Do you know who was your point of contact?
It was, I think, Lana and her daughter, or Lena.
Lena?
Yeah. So Dave Hopewell was the one who reached out to her.
Okay.
And so I think he sent a note again this week, but hadn't heard back yet. So
Yeah, well,
happy to work together in any
I-
way possible that makes it work.
Excuse me for
Okay, yeah,
interfering.
it just,
Go ahead.
Okay,
Olivia.
just so that, so what I think we need to do is send another one, and we need to walk in as community members, right? And so we can do that.
Okay, great.
And so we'll be glad to do that and then, let you know, this is what's going on, this is what we need. This is part of our cultural projects, and we want to make sure it works.
And maybe we could set a time frame by the end of October, maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe by the end of the week, hopefully. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
yeah, that
All
would
right,
be awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Olivia. And Chris, nice work. Thank you very much. Great letter. Any other discussion? Before we go to Ben, who's going to make a motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the Halawa Albergue Canoe Shelter and Teaching Pavilion at the Moku of Olauloa Canoe Club.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Sunny seconds it. All in favor? Aye. I think that's everyone. No? Okay, aye. We're good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Moving on to the Hawaii Youth Transportation Council seeks feedback on the HDOT Energy Security Waste and Reduction Proposal. So we have Luca Uniberti. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. So yeah, my name is Luca Cuniberti. Dottie knows me. I've volunteered here many times. I'm not a resident of Hau'ula, but I am a resident of Pupukea. And I go to Asia Pacific International School, which is right down the road. So my title at the HYTC is I'm the chair of policy and legislation, and I'm also just a member, the representative for the whole North Shore of Oahu, and of course this area here is also olauloa. So yeah, the HYTC started as a lawsuit between Navihine, who's like an environmental group with some youth plaintiffs, and HDOT. And they basically were advocating for the state government to do more for advocating for the environment for the youth. The state decided to settle, and out of that came the HYTC and the Energy Security and Waste Reduction Proposal, which part of my duties as a member is to basically go between HDOT and tell them what I like, what I don't like, what I think is concerning. And luckily, I've seen almost nothing that is concerning. Another one of my duties that is why I'm here is I'm a go-between between the community, you guys, and HDOT. So I'm here to take questions, concerns about the energy security and waste reduction proposal, some things pertaining to, Hau'ula Camp Highway, but I can't, of course, answer everything. So I can take some questions down. Yeah, and then if you guys know any youth, because this is a youth council that are interested in transportation or environmental work, they can contact me. I have some business cards if you guys would like them as well. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you. We did send out, Luca, the summary of the HDOT Energy Security and Waste Reduction Plan. I think that's one of the things that, the
Yes.
primary purpose that you're here. So do we have any questions from or comments from the board of directors? Besides the fact that we're impressed that someone so young is doing so well.
Thank you.
Wheelie.
Okay, yeah, thank you for being here. I'm just looking at the info that was sent to us. As far as like the public comment period, are we still, it says here June 27th to August 31st. So are we beyond that, or are we still able to give you feedback to give back to them?
We are beyond public comment. Right now, you can still give me some feedback and I can give that to them.
Okay.
Right now, basically most of the work I'm doing is on the legislative side, getting some of the legislation ready for the real work to be done by the plan.
Okay, got it. And then what would be the best way to provide comments or feedback to you?
I can give you my email.
Okay, awesome.
Is there anyone else on the board who will want his email? Well, okay. Any other responses to, go ahead, Ben.
That's a gigantic project. There's so many, where do we start, right? So anyway, whatever you guys can do to make it work. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. Any other comments from the board? Any other comments from the public?
I have a question. This is Andrea.
Okay, Andrea, go for it.
This is something I try to instill with Kaava Community Association. Also, we're looking for people to get on this youth council. There were like 83 candidates, I think it was, and only 13 going on. And it seems like you're one not good candidate, but we have an entire area of, more than half of the island practically, or at least close to it, in terms of being covered by one person on the youth council, somebody who lives in Pupukea. Do you know any other people your age that can still be on the youth council that live anywhere closer? Please encourage them to get on. Even though for some reason we were not, we either don't have any applying or we just didn't get selected, and we're really underrepresented on this side of the island. North Shore and olauloa, very underrepresented.
Do you have
in
any
terms
really
of-
smart buddies, Luca?
Yeah.
Live in the area.
I mean, I think the youth council is continuing to evolve. I had a chat this weekend about that precise thing actually. Maybe splitting the area I represent up for North Shore and then more over here because I'm really concerned about you guys as well, and I want you guys to have good representation. So yeah, there was over 83 applicants. 20 got selected. Basically 1 or 2 average from every island. Yeah, I'm happy to be looking. I'll definitely be looking for some people that either can replace me in a year or be you guys' representative, because I think that is very important. And of course, if you guys know anyone that would like to do something like that, is interested in transportation or environmental work, have them reach out to me.
Thank you, Luca. Sunny?
I'm wondering if we could connect you with Kahuku High School. They probably have an environmental club, and so maybe I know Uila has connections there, so maybe she can help connect you with those resources and people over there, and that could get more support and interest to help support your efforts. And great job.
I have been starting to work on trying to get in contact with the Kahuku Student Council so I can talk to them, talk to any relevant clubs.
Thank you, Luca. Dottie?
Yes, let me see if I understand. They only select one person for all of the North Shore, Olauloa?
Yes, that is this iteration of the council. We're gonna keep changing so that we can keep up with being able to represent like you guys well. So I think looking at the next because our next openings will be in November. So I think we might see if we can split it up so you guys will have your own representative from over here. Because I think it's unfair too that you guys don't have your own.
Thank you, Luca.
Well, I can also, we're just starting to have some meetings with the student council at Kahuku. And I know of a couple of great people already that could join you or would love to work with you. Maybe they could learn from you too in the meantime while you're still the only one in office, okay?
I would love that.
Okay, so before you go, give me your card and we'll connect on that, okay? Thanks.
And give it to Uili too. And we got Ben?
I think you're missing even a bigger talent is having like the Olauloa district have their own council. And they come up with their own ideas and then present it to the one that's going to be representing them. Mahalo.
Yeah.
I mean, one simple way to do this is to link with the environmental clubs in the schools. So those environmental clubs themselves, so you don't have to start a whole new body, right?
Yeah, that would be great if we could have that. I know another kind of proposal that we were bringing up is this session we only had people that were elected or got into the youth council were allowed to do like go on trips. Like in August, we went to Maui to go look at a biodiesel plant and some other native Hawaiian farms. It was really only people that got into the council that were able to do more of the work. But I think in the future we might be having it so even people that didn't get into, like the 83 applicants that did apply, so that they could have a say in the council.
Okay, thank you, Luca. I'm going to get one last question, then let's move on. We've still got quite a bit on our agenda tonight. So Johnny, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I work at the school, so you can contact me and I can be a point of contact at the high school. I'm
That'd be
Johnny.
really
Thank
great.
you.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, thank you very much.
Okay, let's move on. The Climate Future Forum. We are talking about adopting a resolution for stronger regulations of pesticides. Do we have Ella Alexander here?
Aloha,
Online?
Chair.
Okay, hi. Oh, we got Yvonne.
My name's Yvonne. I'm filling in for Ella. Ella was our summer intern for our office, but she just went to college. So I know she was the one who reached out to you. So I'm filling in for her right now because we have our other intern presenting at another neighborhood board tonight as well. But I thank you folks for letting us share about our resolution that we're hoping that you folks can take time to either pass tonight or make a decision tonight or at your next board meeting. But before I get into that, I just wanted to share a little bit about some of the work that we're doing. And if you don't mind, if I can share my screen, that's okay. Are you folks seeing my screen right now?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so this is a really short presentation. It's usually 10 minutes, but I just want to leave some time to go over the resolution at the end. So what we're doing is we're doing a pesticides education campaign. So we're going to all the neighborhood boards across Oahu to share about some work, some research that our interns have been following through with and from HAPA, the Hawaii Alliance for Progressive Action, which is an organization, one person in particular who has been doing this work for over 15 years. And we're just sharing to build awareness about some pesticide use on the island. Sorry, I'm going to skip a few slides, but I'll share this with the board as well and the community so you folks can look through this over. Building beyond general use pesticides, things that you folks might be familiar with, such as Roundup, I wanted to highlight restricted use pesticides, which are pesticides that have extremely harmful effects on our environment as well as human health. These are pesticides that require certification, so certification that needs to be licensed. So you need to get registered through the Department of Agriculture, and then you have to be a licensed applicator to be able to spray on parcels or apply these pesticides on a parcel. But we've known and we've researched and found out that restricted use pesticides have significant environmental and health impacts. And most commonly, they're being sprayed on North and Central Oahu, as well as West Kauai. So in 2018, Act 45 was passed by the legislature and enacted in 2019, where reports or RUPs must be reported to the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity annually. And this requires also reporting. The act itself also included 100-foot buffer zones around schools. So it was a good start. Some examples of restricted use pesticides includes 1,3-dichloropropene, which is also 1,3-D, and metamsodium, which are both soil fumigants that are used to control things like soil-borne pests, including fungi and insects. So while Act 45 helps to protect our communities against RUPs, there's certain exemptions, such as exemptions to neonicotinoids, which are also harmful pesticides that are being used. They act on the nervous system of insects with very low toxicity to mammals and minimal environmental impact. So they're considered reduced risk. However, we've found that they're also toxic to our pollinator species, including our native bees and other native insects, as well as some of our birds. There's also exemptions to the experimental field trials. So major chemical companies like Bayer, or formerly known as Monsanto and Syngenta, can test on crops on land, which could have adverse consequences on our agricultural resources. So while Act 45 is not enough, one of the reasons why we're going around and sharing about this with the community is we're hoping that we can get a dialogue, a conversation going to ask for more better enforcement on the spraying of these pesticides. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about like what's already being reported and where the areas of growth, areas of improvement could be.
So you have about 45 seconds left.
Sorry, okay, I'll speed through these. So what you see here at the very top, this is the existing reporting form that applicators are required to submit every year. And then the sections and the bars in green are what's being required. So the product name, active ingredients, the total poundage or amounts that are being sprayed, the area that's treated, and then the date that it's applied. However, it doesn't ask for the time that's applied, what crop or site is being treated. So we're just asking for more, like better data and more detailed reporting. So that's why we have this resolution, and I believe Ella already shared this with you. So if you're, it kind of outlines some of what I've already shared in this presentation, but if you folks are willing to take an opinion or a motion to act on this resolution, we would really appreciate that. But thank you so much for your time.
Yvonne, thank you so much. We did send this out about a week ago when you sent this to me, so I think the board has had an opportunity to review it. Do we have any comments from the board first? Do we have any comments from the community? Oh, go ahead, Margaret.
Just real quick, I did review your entire, this is about this draft, right? The Hawaii
It should
Climate
be our
Action
latest
Pathways.
draft,
That's
yes.
the next
Yeah.
presenter.
Pardon?
The Hawaii, this public comment on the Climate Actions Pathways report?
Yes.
That's the next presenter.
Oh, gosh.
That's all right, Margaret.
Pardon me.
It's okay. Any other comments from the community? I think the only thing is if the board passes this, the only thing I might suggest is that we're not in a position to resolve that the Hawaii state require regular soil. I think it's more like we're, as a neighborhood board, we are exhorting them to or encouraging them to. I would just change the language in each one of those to make it more appropriate for our role. Otherwise, is there any other comment? Ben, were you going to say something?
I'm just surprised it took so long for them to bring up about, all the pesticides that are ruining the water, ruining the land, getting people sick. Left and right. And I'm glad they're bringing it up now, but I think, just to summary what she wanted, that we could just work on that. But you gave the summary. Thank you.
Yeah, that's so. Any other comments from the board? Comments from the community? Is there a
One
motion?
comment,
Oh, go ahead, please. Who
just
is
one
that?
quick comment, Andrea.
Oh, Andrea, go for it.
Yeah, the neonics, they're killing all the bees, so that eliminates a large portion of our food being pollinated. That's all I wanted to emphasize on this, and I'm glad we're going to pass it, I hope.
Thank you, Andrea. Do we have a motion? With maybe with the amendments that we encourage these bodies enter each of them. I'd be happy to draft that or to yeah, put that language in there. Is there a second? Dottie seconds. I'm sorry? Yeah. So all in favor, please raise your hand. Show of hands. 1, 2. So no one opposes. Okay. So it passed. Yes, we'll put it on letterhead and we'll get it out to you, Yvonne. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much, everyone.
your commitment to this and for bringing this to our attention.
Mahalo.
Moving on. State of Hawaii Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission. Do we have a representative? Bill, are you here online? You're there? Okay, awesome.
Aloha kako. My name is Jonathan. I am with the State Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission. Actually, I have this poster that I might hold up, but
Jonathan, what's your last name?
oh, sorry, my name is Jonathan Lance.
Lance?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
How's this? Sweet.
You're doing great.
Yeah, so I guess for maybe those that aren't familiar, the State Climate Commission was formed a few years back. It is basically a consortium of representatives from different public offices, different counties across the state, some representatives from the legislature's office. And it was kind of formed as we were recognizing the increasing impacts of climate change, to be an organization is sort of coordinate across all these agencies and try to kind of have a guiding direction to coordinate actions to build resilience to climate change. And we're here to share with you folks that we recently completed a draft of our Climate Action Pathways report. And we're trying to share this with neighborhood boards and different communities because we are in a public feedback period. So we're inviting everyone to check it out and provide your feedback, share your input, give us suggestions on how you want to see things implemented in your communities. So basically, the Climate Action Pathways report, it's basically a roadmap of the actions that we've found through maybe the past year and a half of talking with different community groups and technical advisors, consultants, academics, industry professionals, a bunch of different stakeholders. I've been having a lot of conversations and tying in the recommendations into this report, which in a sense, it contains the main meat of it is 23 recommendations that are sort of across different sectors. So kind of having trouble getting this poster not to curl. But we've kind of, the report centers around 8 different sectors, which are waste, Thank you, sir.
You're Vanna White.
What's up?
You're Vanna White.
Yeah, exactly. So we broke it down into 8 different sectors. So waste, energy, buildings, efficiency and resilience, ground transportation, aviation transportation, marine transportation, agriculture, forestry, and land use, as well as circular economies. And so this poster kind of sums up the content, but what we're really here to do is invite folks to go to our website, and I can share a link in the chat. We kind of designed a really simple online platform where people can look at all the recommendations. Super like quick little sign up thing. It's free, and you just put in your email and sign up, and then you can give feedback on all the different recommendations. You can see what other people are saying too, sort of interact with others that have made suggestions, tell us what's missing from the recommendations, things you like, things you don't like. And again, like how you would like to see these things implemented in your communities. And yeah, so I really appreciate the chance to be here and share this. I know kind of having had conversations with Auntie Dottie and Evelyn that you folks out in Olauloa are seeing a lot of change and seeing a lot of impacts, flooding and coastal erosion and fire-prone areas out here in Kahuku and all that. And so I also know that you guys have a wealth of like really great ideas just from talking to you. So, and that sometimes it's not necessarily easy to have those ideas heard and communicated up the chain. So we really would appreciate if folks either want to go to the website. There's a QR code that I have on a flyer here that if you folks are willing, maybe we could post up at the community center, and anyone that comes by can scan the QR code or look at the link. But I'd also love to drop the link in the chat as well as my email address, and anyone that's online that's here, or just any of your friends and family and networks, if you want to reach out. I think the easiest way is just through the online platform, and that platform has the links to read the whole report, which is actually like 180 pages, but there's a short version too. There's an executive summary that's more like 20 pages. So yeah, thank you for your time, and I'll hopefully share those links in the chat. I step down from the mic.
Perfect. John, thank you for coming and for representing this. So it looks good. And do we have any comments from the board?
I just want to thank you, Jonathan. You put a lot of hard work into this I wish I could have come to every meeting online, but I can't. And so we really appreciate this and the hard work you've done. And this is something our community really needs to look at carefully. And I encourage everybody to do that. So be sure we get that link out and we'll share it with everybody.
Thank you, Dottie.
Thank you. Any other board members? Comments? Anybody from the public? Ooh. Olivia.
Hi, aloha.
Hi, Olivia.
Super excited and happy to hear about the work that you folks are doing out there, and that you've been able to be in contact with some of our community members as well in Ko'olauloa. I just wanted to ask if you folks have been working with any Native Hawaiian organizations, as you folks have been in this planning period and getting public feedback.
Yeah, thank you for asking. We've definitely made an effort. Groups, like CNHA, and I don't know if there are organizations I would characterize specifically as just Native Hawaiian organizations, NHOs. But we've got folks like coming from 808 cleanups and different Malama Aina groups. I would love any suggestions you have of maybe groups that we haven't had that reach with. If you want to shoot me an email, definitely open to suggestions on that end.
Olivia, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we have our Native organization here in Kahana, and then we've also have a lot of partnerships throughout our community, throughout Ko'olau. And so yeah, we can definitely connect you as well with some of our community partners as well.
I would love that. There's so many little pockets of organizations throughout the state that it's so hard to kind of get a picture of the whole landscape and make sure that like we're connecting with everyone. So any help in like connecting those dots would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I can also leave my email here in the chat if you have access to that, or if you want to leave yours too, then everyone can also see yours.
Maybe I'll leave mine because if I put mine in the chat, I didn't bring a laptop or anything with me, so I probably wouldn't have your email if you put in the chat. I'm not sure how
Okay.
that works.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I've got it.
I've got your email too, so I could send it.
So Olivia Anson's going to put his email in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Anson.
Any other discussion? Awesome. Thank you, everyone. That was great. So we have now two special management area presentations, both of them by Mark Howland. Is that right? Did I pronounce that right? Yes. So
Yes.
Mark, take it away.
Hello. Thank you, Chair. Board members. I have two presentations tonight. One is the Demio's in Gava. The second one is the Gallant Garage in Aula. So I could share the screen for the first one if you don't mind.
Please go.
So this is the Demio property. This is the environmental documentation. It's an SMA major in front of your board. Because there's an existing dwelling, one to be renovated and a new dwelling to be put up. Because there's 3 single-family dwellings on a property, it can't go through the simple SMA 23-4 process. It needs to go through the full EA draft environmental assessment, final environmental assessment, then the SMA. So we're at the point of doing the draft environmental assessment. It's not a shoreline property, it's far inland. It's at 51-055 Oluhu Road in Kaava, in the R5 area. The locus, as you can see in this property, is on the corner of the streets. It literally has one abutter, I believe is one of your board members. It's 0.55 acres, about 23,000 square feet. The trigger is because it's a AE flood hazard zone and a cost of greater than $500,000. It'll trigger an SMA major. B, retention of one single-family dwelling, demolition of the second, construction of a replacement single-family dwelling, and construction of another single-family dwelling. So essentially, it becomes 3 single-family dwellings on a lot zone for that type of activity, with 1 retained and 2 new. We've already distributed this to different agencies, and we've got responses. They're pretty common to this type of thing, with the fire department saying, stay within 75 feet, giving us access. Police department, no work at night. Let the public know of any disturbing traffic issues. This is the plot plan for the property. As you can see, I highlighted in yellow is the corner lot in this area. This is the planned project. They retain some of the components and then redevelop other components. These are photos of the site that were shared with DPP. These are the soils for the site. There's no indication of EV or any other type things common in jacket sands or sandy beach soils. It's all basically silty clays on the property. It's not impacted by the 3.2. The balloon here to the left is far away from the 3.2 shoreline level rise far to the right. Again, the coastal erosion lines are combined to that shoreline, and as we can see, there's a multitude of intervening properties before the shoreline erosion loss indicators could even come into play. unlike most of the Oahu shorelines, as an inland lot, it's not going to be affected from any hurricane surge, either category 1 through 4. As you can see, the circles, it's outside, everything's pretty much combined to the shoreline.
So Mark, you've got maybe about 40 seconds.
Okay, the erosion loss is large, it won't reach the site. It's all in the X flood zone. And we go through, we always, for the guidance of your board and other boards, we put in all these conditions recommended to clean soils, dark sky, wildlife, soil mitigations, and these are conditions. So we're out of cuckoo, and if you have any questions, we're willing to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. It was exactly 5 minutes. Do we have any comments from the board? Yes.
Sorry, this is just for my understanding. Just a couple of questions. The first one is, I'm not familiar with zoning laws and whatnot, but there's 3, I guess, dwellings or structures that are on this. Is that kind of typical, or is this particular parcel of land zone for
Yeah,
3
they
dwellings?
actually could build 4. It's R5 zoning on a 23,000 square foot lot. So 5,000 square feet per single family dwelling. 3 would be 15,000 square feet. They're not billing out the maximum potential.
Okay, got it. And then just a question, do you know what the 2 new dwellings, are they, is it purpose for those long-term rentals, or is it the owners planning to live in there? Just curious.
The owners plan to live in one of the new ones, and they plan to do long-term rentals for the others. No short-term rentals is not allowed in that area.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments from the board? Ben?
Question, it says over here, the project is now in its last stages. The process of evaluating has been thoughtfully and carefully done by DPP. Now it is the public's turn to do the initial evaluation of the site use after DPP's helpful guidance. So, I guess we're coming in after? Is that what it is? Or is it still a proposal, right? I mean, the
So when
permits
you-
are going for, the permits are going through, right?
No. When you do a environmental assessment, it needs to go through 3 stages, actually 4 stages. There's a pre-consultation with DPP, which has been done. They direct us to do a draft environmental assessment, which we have you review. Your comments plus with the agencies gets developed into a final environmental assessment. After that's advertised in the environmental notice, then it goes back to DPP for a special management area permit. And they can't get their building permit till they get the special management area permit.
Good. Okay, thank you. Mark, any other questions or comments? Margaret?
Just a quick comment. So you're basically just applying to rebuild on a lot that has existing structures on it.
Yes, not just rebuild, but also add an extra single family home.
Okay,
So like I said, they're not maximizing their potential, but they are taking, I guess, like 3/4 of it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, are we expected to do a motion on this type of, is this a formal approval, or what's the?
No, the board
You're
does
just
not
presenting,
take
okay.
any action. We're just
Okay.
required to advertise and have a public hearing with the neighborhood board. You're more than welcome, just take no action.
All right.
It's part of the consultation process.
So, one more question.
Sorry, just so I understand too, what is your connection with the properties? Are you like hired to represent them? Because you're presenting on both of them. So just trying to make the connection of who you are in reference to the owners and the property.
We're the environmental agent, so last year we got 65 out of 80 SMA permits approved. We basically just deal as the environmental agent with Pawnee in the past. we also send you guys the SMA minors that don't need to come in front of your board, just so you know what goes on in your community. We feel it's important as Kuku business owners. We highly respect that you need to know what goes on in your neighborhood. So even though DPP requires us to come in front of you, we feel it's important to have you be fully vested. And so Michael was sent the written statement, which is 400 or 500 pages long. You're more than welcome to review it.
I did not send that
and
out
take
to
it
all
from
of
there.
you. You could thank me, but if you want it, I'll send it. Okay, thank you. We have one question from Andrea online.
Sure.
Yes, thank you. I am considered the abutting property or one of them. Are there more than one abutting properties that you're sending this CD-ROM thing to that was sent to you?
No, for my part, I'm only supposed to send to direct abutters. Later, when it gets to the SMA stage, DPP will send to a circle of within 300 feet. So you're the only direct abutter, because you're kind of confined to that crossroads area. So sent to you, has the direct abutter. Later on, DPP will send it to everyone within 300 feet.
Okay. And what you said triggered this. We were told before about some other building project that people had to widen the road all the way up here because it's not city and county maintained. We're private roads. We have a beach owners association, it's called, even though we're not on the beach. So that's a little confusing. The road is still 12 to 14 feet wide on part of this.
Yeah, that's why
development.
that's why he's limiting his project to 3 single-family dwellings, because for that road width, that's what he's limited to. He could go to 4, but if he went to 4, he'd have to widen the road.
I see. And are these going to become duplexes like his other properties across the street there?
No, they're all single-family dwellings. He's talked to us about we're not quite sure what it is. He said it's kitty corner to this. And we had to tell him quite severely, you need to go through this process. You can't just build without going through the SMA process and all the draft and final. And that's why he's restricted to the limits of what he's doing.
Now, do you get into both of these properties off Oahu Road, or is part of it an entrance on Ha'aha'a?
No, we're just dealing with this property, not the other one yet. He said later on he might develop it. We understand the other property has some issues. And if they hire us to be the environmental consultants, we'll deal with it at that time.
So, my concern is I live next door here and it's this construction for a couple of years is what it says.
Yeah, you have to put that in for DPP. You have to say construction could last 18 to 24 months. Some people build within 6 to 8 months. Some people take their time. We have to give the maximum potential construction period. It's just standard language for DPP.
Okay.
Thank you.
Andrea,
And they
anything else?
can't work at night and they can't work on weekends.
Andrea, anything else?
I guess I want to know where do you get this thing to, can you send me pictures of the actual, site that,
Andrea, yeah, Mark just did a whole presentation with all the pictures. Would you
Yeah,
like him
okay.
to send it to you?
yes, but it printed out
Mark-
because I have low vision problems.
Right.
Yeah, I sent her the CD.
Yeah, it's a CD-ROM thing that it's hard for me to see. So if you could make a printed out version, it would be better.
Okay, it's about 500 or 600 pages, and You probably have trouble reading it as well, but we could send that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Andrea, anything else? I'm sorry, go
no,
ahead.
later. Well, just when do we get notified of where to send comments to or whatever? You know, you were saying if there's a comment period or something.
There'll be several. It goes to the environmental notice that they advertise on the 8th and the 23rd. And you can log on and comment there. Then also DPP, when it gets to the final SMA stage, will send you an email asking if you have any comments and you respond to that email.
Okay. So
Okay,
I'm
thank
just
you.
concerned it doesn't become Lonnie Kai with no parking. You know, it's looking,
All parking's
I don't
combined
know.
to the law.
He's got a lot of population going up here.
That sounds like there needs to be a good discussion. Maybe Mark and Andrea can have a chat.
Yeah, I tried calling it back a couple of times, but I just got voicemail.
Mr. Chair?
Okay, go ahead, Ben.
Yes, Chloe has a copy, so we can give that to her. I can drop it off at Andrea's house.
Okay, Ben's going to drop off a copy to your house, Andrea,
Mahalo, Ben.
or Margaret. Oh, Ben's going to do it. Okay, all right. I think we figured it out. All right, Mark, let's move on to your next presentation.
Okay, let me open up the PowerPoint. I can get my mouse to work again. Come on. Okay. Let me see if I can get back to you now. Well, I guess I can just share it, right? Is it being shared or no? Oh, let me share. Want the other one? Give me a second. There it is. Okay, so I go from the beginning.
There we go.
There we go. I guess I'll leave it this way because it's not letting me. So anyway, this is the Gallant property in Haula. You probably know it as the Gallant Garage. This has been a little bit different because originally he got an SMA minor approved to renovate the garage. Then he was concerned about people vandalizing the property without a caretaker, and it's in the B1 district. And he proposes to put an ADU for a caretaker, which is allowed in the B1 district, above the renovated garage. He currently does inspections. He wants to expand it to more of a full service garage. And originally DPP accepted that the ADU caretaker above was properly for a direct SMA application with the ADU caretaker above. Then they reversed the decision, decided that they wanted to go through the EA process. So that's why we're back in front of the board with the SMA major application. This is the property that you guys probably all know. It's on the Cam Highway. It's inland lot again. The park is across the street. The current garage will be demolished with the foundation kept so as not to impact any EV or anything. And then above it, it'll become a two-story building with ADU above. So it's now becomes a two-story story building. It's outside the shoreline setback, still within SMA, because construction costs are now under 500,000, he got a minor before because just doing garage renovation was under 500,000. The ADU now brings it over 500,000. This is the plot plan for the property. As you can see, outlined in yellow is the property line. This is his planned project. Here is the new garage with an ADU above. The driveway stays the same. The septic stays the same. There's minimum impact. Site photos. DPP now requires us to give you the legend showing where they're taken and what they look like. This is of existing site photos. The adjacent stream will not be impacted. Where Big Bill has an erosion control professional, we don't allow runoff to go off-site. All groundwater recharge will be dry wells or recharge directly onto the property with no off-site runoff. These are the soils for the property. As you can see, it's jacket sands with some clays in the back. Sea level rise does come onto the property. Does not quite reach the garage area, that's the main area of renovation, but does affect the driveway. Same thing for the erosion lines, the high wave, again, doesn't quite reach the garage property. And then all the coastal erosion lines are way back across the park. The red is the 3.2 erosion line, the green is the vegetation line. So this will not be allowed to build if you're within those zones. We're not. So that's part of it. Hurricane surge, as you can down too far. As you can see in 1 and 2, the driveway starts to get affected in 2. About half the site gets affected in 3, and in 4, as most of the North Shore, as I well know and everybody knows, is going to be affected by hurricane surge.
Mark, you got about 40 seconds.
Yeah. The erosion line is large, won't reach the site. It's a AE flood zone, velocity zones in the park. And again, the same conditions that we discussed before, put in place for the city council to act on. And again, we're environmental law to cuckoo, and we'll gladly answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have any questions from the board or comment? Margaret?
Margaret Weiss. So does Gallant run the garage?
Yes, his, I guess, chief employee will do the ADU caretaker.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Um,
So
above.
I think it's wonderful having a you know, a garage in Hauula. And how long have they been, because I didn't know of it. I found the spot, I drove by it. But and I think it's fabulous if they're going to rebuild. And
Yeah, they're still doing inspections now. It's an inspection garage.
Yeah.
He just wants to turn it into a full service garage. But he
Excellent.
feels that to do that, he needs to have somebody kind of like there 24 hours. So his chief employee will live upstairs.
Okay.
It's a, I think it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath ADU.
Okay.
Less
Thank you.
than 800 square feet.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members have response? How about the public? Okay, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so
We do
much,
send
Michael.
your presentations out to the board about a week ahead of time, so we appreciate you giving them to us.
Yeah, thank you for your time, and you guys have a nice night. And if I can help in any way, please let me know.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go on. Bye, Mark. Let's go on to committee reports. Do we have any committee reports today? Sonny.
So as we know, Kahuku District Park, we're gonna be seeing some improvements. I just wanted to announce that G70, and I'll go ahead and read this and maybe I'll send it to Anson and you can send it out. But this is a cultural impact assessment and Kapa'akai analysis notice for Kahuku Community Center Improvements Project. On behalf of the City and County of Honolulu, Department of Parks and Recreation, and G70 is preparing a cultural impact assessment and a Kapa'akai analysis to inform an HRS Chapter 343 environmental assessment for the proposed Kahuku Community Center Improvements Project. The project is located at 56-170 Pualalea Street, Kahuku, in the Aopua'a of Kahuku and Keana Olauloa District, Island of Oahu. The approximately 16.06 acre project area includes TMKs 56006011, 015, 021, 023, Kamehameha Highway, state-owned right-of-way, and Pualalea Street right-of-way. The proposed project will modernize and expand existing park amenities and infrastructure to improve year-round access to high-quality recreational facilities, supporting the health, wellness, and recreational needs of the Kahuku and Ko'olauloa communities. These improvements are intended to foster a vibrant and inclusive community environment for residents of all ages while enhancing the park's functionality, accessibility, and long-term resilience. G70 is seeking input from Kama'aina, cultural practitioners, Native Hawaiian organizations, community members, and other stakeholders who may have knowledge of historic properties, cultural resources, or traditional and customary practices associated with the project area. Input is also sought on potential impacts to these resources and practices and on strategies to avoid, minimize, or mitigate such impacts, as well as recommendations for others who should be consulted. Individuals or organizations interested in sharing information can contact G70 at kahukucc@g70.design or 808-523-5866. So I just wanted to make that announcement. And we should be having another community meeting. It was supposed to be in September, but it's looking like it might be postponed a little bit in October, but I'll keep you posted.
Thank you, Sunny. Any other committee reports? That was, by the way, our Committee on Parks and Recreation. Dottie, from our Community Resilience Emergency Preparedness Subcommittee.
Right. I just want to let everyone know that we are having a CERT training in the next few weeks. The first one is this Saturday, September 13th. Then there's another September 27th. And the final one is a practice day or half day at Diamond Head. And so this is the CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Teams. And it's very important that every community have at least one team, and would be good to have more than one team. We provide this training here annually, just once a year. So this is your opportunity to come out, join us in this training. It's free, and there's a free lunch. So I encourage anyone who's listening to come on and give me a call or text. Just call me at 255-6944, 808, and ask to get on the list for the training. We can assure that you will get trained and you will really benefit both your family and your community in doing this. The second thing I want to mention is we also have a very important presentation. It's coming up in October. It is a wastewater pollution, about the pollution of our nearshore waters. A couple years ago, I saw that DOH, Department of Health, named Hauula as the second most polluted community in the state. And then we got some funding from Castle Foundation through University of Hawaii, SOES, to come out and help us actually test our waters. And we've been doing that, as I mentioned earlier, for over 6 months. The results are really bad. And I would just like for everyone to be alerted to that, because this is about the health of all the people in our community. And we're not the only community out here that doesn't have anything like a wastewater system. That's the crux of the matter. We only have cesspools in Hauula, 700 of them. And a few houses, the newer homes, do have septics, but we've got to get rid of cesspools. And so please come out and learn about the wastewater pollution. And we'll be putting that in our newsletter. And if you have any questions, let me know. There's a group who does this presentation all around the island, and it's called cesspool mapping. And so it will be a very practical, hands-on discussion and input from the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dottie.
Do you want me to talk about the other?
Yeah, let's do that later. I'll cue
Okay.
you. Any other committee reports? Ben, Transportation Committee.
So I just wanted to report that what Erica said earlier, that the other one by the school will be finished by next month, hopefully. And I really appreciate DOT moving fast on that one. And the other one was that the bridge over here, Kuiper Paul, will be finished before the end of the year, I believe. Right, so that's important to all of us. We really wanted those things to be done. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that I want our communities to reach out to me and let me know what other issues they're facing. Highways, buses, humps, bumps, whatever the thing might be, so we can kind of work with our DOT to make things happen. We want to work with them because we want our communities to be even better, right? We have so much issues over here. We want to have things fixed. Mahalo. And thanks to the DOT. Mahalo.
Thanks, Ben. Any other committees? Do we have any community or anyone responds to our committee reports? Okay, moving on. Great. Public input, community announcements. Dottie, do you mind talking about the joint neighborhood board meeting proposal?
Right. You know what? I didn't give you the dates for those two meetings. Well, at our Hauula Community Associated meeting that's on October 7th, we will have a report from SOEST about the wastewater pollution here in Hauula. And so on the 17th of October, that's when we have the cesspool conversion mapping workshop right here. So that will be at 2:00 on a Friday afternoon, hoping a lot of people can make that to learn about this really big problem here. Yes, the next topic, I'll try to cover it as fast as possible. We got a call to action alert from Keone Dudley, who is on the Kapolei neighborhood board. And they are asking all neighborhood boards, they already have, I think, 10 neighborhood boards signed up to have a call for action by all neighborhood boards together. And what does that mean? Maybe if you haven't heard of Keone Dudley, I've tried to share his name far and wide because he was a professor at UH Manoa, and he made a videotape. It was a couple years ago, and it was called The New Threat of Hurricanes in Hawaii. And he pointed out a lot of data and had people, professional people from DEM across the food people who take care of bringing food into Hawaii, because you know we get 90 to 95% of our food shipped here by planes and ships. So his alert is about the fact that we don't have any real hurricane shelters. We have places they call refuges from the storms, but if you have to leave your home because you're on a beach or in the flood zone, you will not have a place to go. And there's 200,000 people in Hawaii expected to need a shelter, and we don't have any. So this is the call to action that Keone has put out. He's inviting all the neighborhood boards to send at least one representative to that meeting to represent the neighborhood board they're on. And so tonight we need to figure out, are we going to send someone, and are we going to participate in this process? And I highly recommend that we do, because we're talking about 30-some neighborhood boards getting together and all saying the same thing. And that's very powerful. And this will be also on TV. The date for the meeting is October 22nd. And so you can watch it on TV. He believes that the mayor and the state and everybody under the sun will be there to talk about this big problem, because it is a major issue. This is why we have been working on a resilience hub since 2014. This body right here unanimously voted for the resilience hub, and we have been working on it ever since. I work on it every day, and we have some money right now, and we're working also with the city very closely. So we need to do something about this. So I recommend we go if you possibly can, and I'll volunteer to go, and I'd be happy to carpool with others.
Yeah, it does sound like something. I mean, I support participating in this as well. There is a little resolution or some sort of motion that we need to make. But what we can do, my suggestion is we will send out as much information as we can to the board and give you some time to review it. And we will have time at our next meeting to do whatever motion we need to do to participate in it, because I think we have to do some sort of formal motion to participate in the joint meeting. But we can do that, give you time to review it, think about it. So it's October, our meeting is October 9th, our next meeting, and the event is October 22nd. And whoever wants to participate, please, it's an important issue. Do we have any other questions or comments about that? Please. Could you use a? I don't, I think it's just for the neighborhood boards, but that's a good question. Yeah, we can find out. Yeah.
So
Talking to the mic, please.
I don't remember that there was a time in that email.
I don't either. We will send that out to everyone.
Yeah.
And we'll try to send that out soon so you get time to review it and think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments on that? Okay. Are there any other public input community announcements? I did put the Honolulu Charter Commission. Chelsea addressed that. We did receive a letter from the Charter Commission requesting public input into the city charter, and then that the boards have input as well. If any board members feel strongly that we need to really make that a little bit of a more formal process and do a motion, please speak now. We won't do the motion now, but
I missed this. Can you explain it a little bit more?
the Honolulu Charter Commission is currently undertaking its once-a-decade review of the revised charter of the city and county of Honolulu. As part of this process, we are reaching out to neighborhood boards across Oahu to invite your participation and input. The commission welcomes proposals for amendments to the charter from community members, organizations, and neighborhood boards such as yours.
I'm really ignorant about this. What does this charter control?
It's a little bit like the Constitution, but it's for the city. It's what charters the city.
I absolutely think this is a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I will do is I will put this on the agenda for our October meeting. The deadline to submit proposals is November 7th. So what I will try to find as much as I can, send it out to the board, and we will put it on our October agenda, and then figure it out from there. Is that okay, Ben?
Mr. Chair, is there any way we can get one of the people on that charter commission to come to the next neighborhood board meeting to kind of fill us in on what they've done in the past and how it's worked?
So maybe we can invite.
Any one of them?
That's something I would do, right? Yes, I will. So 3 things I have to do. One is send out. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to sort it. Permission. Okay. Come. Okay, I will do that. Any other public input, community announcements from anyone? Yes, my dear.
Aloha Chair, members. My name is Deborah Key. I'm a resident in Chinatown. And I'm curious, would this be the venue for the charter for, earlier they said that Hawaii is a no helmet state. Would this be the venue to maybe ask for that to change?
I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, the charter is like the broader constitution of
Right.
the city and county, which kind of sets the processes. And I think that level of granularity is more at the legislative level.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but
I just wanted to bring it up because
Yeah.
they mentioned it, but nobody's ever said anything about introducing legislation to correct it. So
well, and I would encourage folks that, maybe next time when our government representatives come on to really try to not, I don't want to say hold them accountable, but ask them to follow up on that. Erica, more homework. If you don't mind. Yeah. And I think the question is what type of legislative or governor's office work is being done towards helmet laws. Okay. Sorry. Any other public announcements? Community announcements? Okay, I guess we'll go on to approving the regular minutes. I've allocated 20 minutes for this. No, I'm joking. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes? Ben? Dottie's motion. Who will second? Ben will second. Everyone who approves, raise their hands. Yes. All right, got it. Okay, and then the last thing is our next meeting is October 9th, 6:30 p.m. And the very last thing is adjourned.